All right, so we need a way to practice some piece of this at home. So an exercise I really like here is where we're just going to do the trigger control component of this. So if we're doing slow fire group shooting, it's, hey, look at a spot, stack the pressure, stack, and then the gun goes off. Okay. When we're doing this shooting at practical pace, that's not really how it goes down, is it? Is it you see your sight flash on that spot, you're pressing it, you're ripping the trigger back right away. So in order to simulate that, what I can do is set my delay to random, put my sight up on the target, and then at the tone, I'm going to react to that by smashing the trigger back immediately. Beat, press, right? So I'm not reacting to the visual stimulus, it's audible now. And you can see right away if something happens. Let me make an example for you. It's pretty apparent what's going on there. So now when we take away the recoil and the blast of the gun, and you're just, doing it dry, you're going to feel precisely what your hands are doing. Okay? And then working with the dry fire, you can get your hands doing what you want. Now this kind of ties into a weird idea. What I tell people is if your dry fire always looks good, like you assess your dry fire as good all the time, you're doing it wrong by definition. Now why I say that is, your dry fire is meant to simulate issues that you're actually having, reproduce them, right? So if I'm doing my dry fire at home and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, yep, doing the dry fire, sights look good, but then I come out here and I'm shooting and, well, I could pick a lot of these targets. You see that black paster? You see how your hits are patterning against that black paster? I should be simulating the issues that I'm actually experiencing, or my practice is by definition worthless. Does that make sense? So this is going to really simulate what's happening. Again, reacting immediately, beat, press. Okay? Again, because you're doing it dry, you can really focus up on your hand muscles. You can feel exactly what's going on. All right? Now, one interesting issue here is where to start with your finger on the trigger. Now, you didn't hear me talk about it, but a lot of people like to have a complicated way to work the trigger. So it'll be like prep it all the way, then press, or like stack the pressure onto the wall, then you've heard stuff like this, yeah? If you want to do that, that's fine by me. I don't really care. However, you have to actually practice it the way you're going to do it. So start with your finger out of contact from the trigger, then at the tone, you're going to work the trigger the way you work it. Okay, so it's very tempting on this drill to stack up the pressure to the wall and then beep, press. And then again, you'll think like, oh, I'm really good. But you're not accurately simulating what's happening. When you're shooting quickly, your finger's going to be flying off the trigger probably. So you want to set that up and actually work through that issue. Does this make sense to everybody, I hope?